Okay, right, now, so if we go to page 59, the H and I there, I think, relate to empowered communities. So we've been working this through. You'll see within the budget as it stands, they've booked potential saving, but is not constraining the work that is done to date and is yet to be done and that we're working through. We hope to a very good outcome. Anything you want to add, team? No.
No, I don't think so.
All right. I'll put those two. Moved and seconded by Councillor Alf. All those in favour say aye. Aye. It's passed. Right, the next one is a Linda special. Provide funding of 1.9 million over the first 4 years. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. This. Oh,
sorry.
I can't.
I'm
sorry.
looking.
We can't. Sorry. It's the.
I'm sorry.
Surf.
Yep,
1020.
Yep. I'm looking at J on page 59.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'll second that. Yep.
Jake.
Yeah. Councillor Webster seconding that if we need to do that.
Moved by Councillor Linda, seconded by Councillor Penny.
Is it your
Any comments on this one?
Nope.
No, very good. It's just a smart thing to do. And Mr. Chairman, I think what's smart about it is that they're not expecting council to do it all. It's going to be a collaborative effort by a whole lot of different funders, and I think that's the best kind of model that we can have. And what I'm really pleased about, there's some really strong conditions around it that the staff have put in place, and we expect them to be met before we put ratepayers' money in.
Okay.
I really appreciate other councillors' support because it's very regional.
It's moved and seconded. All those in favour say aye.
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 I'll move K.
Thank you. And Councillor Alf will move K. We have a seconder in the name of Councillor Katikese. Any discussion?
No.
Move that. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against passed. Right, we next have the proposal for year 1 of the LTP at our World War I Memorial. We had some discussion yesterday. Michael, would you like to lead this off?
I'm happy to move, Mr. Mayor. The World War I Memorial concept is something that has been worked on by the World War I Steering Group. The governing body was briefed, I think, in 2014 and gave approval to move ahead with a memorial proposal. Myself and management have conferred with 2 ministers, as have yourself, Mr. Mayor, and also we've had meetings with the Internal Affairs Department in regard to lottery grants funding. We have been told by both ministers, Minister Finlayson and then Minister Barry, that the council would more likely get government funding if it was to show a lead in this matter, and therefore the financial commitment there is very modest for something so important for Aucklanders. It will enable a public subscription, not the usual type of corporate backing, but a genuine public subscription. But in order to show faith with the community on such a sensitive, revered matter as the Great War and its memory, I would recommend this recommendation, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, so out of the discussions over the last couple of days, there were some questions, and so we've got Kay. Ian, I guess you were here for this?
Well, we'll be responsible for taking the memorial over subsequently. It'll be a part of a park.
So the operational costs.
Right, that's good. Kay, what would you like to add?
Yesterday we responded to Councillor Darby's request for a little more information, and you should have received that overnight. Yes, you have. I just wanted to check.
I did. I was referring to when it came up to the committee, the first committee, and it met downstairs, and I was part of that committee, and it was first mooted as a philanthropic project only, and it was presented as a no-cost, capital cost to council.
Yep.
Was that correct when it was first seeded? Is that how it was presented?
I would need to check back to those minutes, but we had investigated and hoped that we would be able to fund this externally to council. Unfortunately, the lotteries had changed their position, which is where we were hoping to get majority of the funding from this. And also, we're still working on a capital campaign to have public subscription aspect to it.
Right. Are there any other questions or comments with regard to this matter? Councillor John Watson.
Yeah, no, just briefly, Mr Mayor, just really to emphasise the obvious, and that is in tying in with the commemorations that are ongoing, you know, over the next 3 or 4 years. This is a wonderful way for Auckland Council and Auckland City to really do something that's special, that will resonate with a huge uptake in people that are showing an interest in the war. If we think of the Anzac Day ceremonies, just keep getting bigger and bigger. So I would say, Mr Mayor, that this, as much as anything we do, is a really worthwhile gesture that will really resonate with people right across Auckland.
Okay, councillors. Mike came with this to myself and Councillor Coney, of course, who are our representatives on the World War I Committee. And it is fair to say that he's championed this matter significantly. I've had the opportunity of doing quite a bit of work into this and understanding and researching the issue of why it even came up. So the building of the World War I War Memorial building, for a start, of course, was a massive work and undertaking, and I'd hate to think what it would cost to build now, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. So you can imagine in those days it was a very dig deep for a city that had been completely sundered by the war. But it is a spectacular monument, and sort of probably out there as the preeminent public monument in the country. And the original plans for the building of the monument included a memorial, not a pathway, but a memorial avenue that was from the bottom of the entrance driveway coming off Grafton Road, straight up the steps and into the War Memorial Museum, basically with a small amount of steps at the bottom, and then a colonnade of trees as a symbolism and a symbolic entry into the War Memorial. And that was never built. That part of it was never actually done. And so I guess what has been asked for here, we are spending on behalf of the government, and also some money that we've put in ourselves, considerable effort in updating the cenotaphs and the War Memorial, either museums, halls, or places all around our city. It has been a mammoth effort, and it's been outstanding, and we've received the benefit of it at Anzac Day. So I recognise there's been some comment around here, and I accept and understand that. But outside of the work that we're doing on the cenotaphs in our local communities and on what we're doing within the War Memorial itself, we're not providing anything outside of that as a specific memorial to acknowledge the 100 years. Now, I would certainly be keen to work in beside. Now, I get the comment made by Councillor Chris about the fact that, well, this was supposed to be a non-rating funded project. And I get all that, I understand that, and it would certainly be my intention to work beside Sandra as the chair, Michael and the committee, and also Roy Clare, as you know, who's bloody brilliant in this space, to do everything we can to minimise the cost here to the ratepayers and maximise what sort of investment we can get from the philanthropists and one or two of the families with reasonably deep pockets who have shown some interest in this. So look, I know it's a bit of a stretch for one or two of you, but today we've shown some pretty significant courage. Well, we've overused that word today, but we've been pretty prudent around our budgets. We've passed a budget with an underlying 2.5, and we've already put the asset on our staff, and you've heard from Steve today on that. So, look, it's in your hands. I thought deeply before I put it into the Merrill proposal and report, but I have had the opportunity of really doing a lot of research around this and understanding better the history of this and the fact that it's delivering on the original vision. This is the last part of the original vision for the War Memorial Museum.
Yep.
A memorial colonnade, and I mean, we could wait another 100 years and do it, or we could possibly do it now. So if you were to support it, I would certainly work with the committee to make sure they're updating you monthly on progress around whether or not we're able to complement the funding that would be supported here. So with those few words, councillors, I'll put it. All those in favour say aye.
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 Against? Thank you.